How have you guys been? It has been a little while since I've made one of these, and you know, life gets in the way. I'm no longer, I don't have as much free time as I used to do coding stuff. So I've been working full time for a CAD startup, which has been really exciting, and I definitely want to make a video about that soon. But what's really neat is they give me a really nice work-life balance. So I've basically spent the entire Christmas break kind of diving back into my hobbies. Some of those hobbies are like guitar playing. I tried making a video game in Rust. That didn't go all that great so far. And I started learning, this song on guitar. And as I was doing that, I noticed that there's some really cool effects in Final Cut Pro, namely the ability to kind of make this VHS cassette retro vibe. And I really wanted to kind of add my own like take on that with the idea that the effect was missing this like little warble thing that VHS cassettes used to do when the tape was kind of starting to go to shit. You would see it kind of ripple. And I thought, I've been wanting to try to do like coding Xcode in Xcode, like plugins for Final Cut Pro, because I know they have an SDK for a while now. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just give it a shot? So let's see how it goes. I suspect I'm going to hit a lot of roadblocks, and through my normal editing, I'm going to try to shorten this video as much as possible. But this might run a little bit long because this is probably going to be pretty involved. With that out of the way, let's have fun and dive on in. Where I'm at right now is I have a what's called a template project I created for FXplug SDK, which is the SDK that Apple uses to do plugins for, here it is right here. I was just showing you how I got here. Yeah, it's basically Apple's SDK for doing plugins using the GPU that can run inside Final Cut Pro. I had to get this dumb thing called Motion, or at least I think I needed to get it to get this far. But regardless of that, my plan is to basically code this stupid little warble effect. So this, I've never really written much Metal besides like one project before. And usually I would never use Metal, but because this thing's going to only ever run on Mac and I don't feel like bringing my Vulkan engine in, we're just going to use it for this. It's fine. After way too long, dunce cap for me for taking so long to figure this out, I now have a reasonable calculation in place for determining amplitude and period of my warbliness. So the plugin now, when I enable this, at least does something sinusoidal to the original, which is what I wanted. A couple things I need to handle. One, I don't want these to be hard-coded in 4K resolution. So what I'm probably going to do is code these as a ratio of a percentage of the height of the original thingy. So just really quickly, what even is 4K resolution? I think it's like 38 something. 2160, so it's 1080p doubled. So 2160, what is 250 over that? It's 11%. And what is 200 over that? It's whatever this number is. And what we're going to do then is just denormalize them by throwing them back as a ratio or a percentage of the height. I'm not going to bother recompiling that. I'm certain it didn't break anything. Next, we are going to, you'll notice it doesn't wrap properly. I'm a little nervous about this. I'm hoping this is just a simple thing I can do in the plugin, in the code, but what I want this to do is wrap the texture so that it essentially, I want it to wrap around basically. So in this code here, where it creates the sampler, which it doesn't do here, which is a little scary. I'm thinking the SDK just gives it to us, which might make it really difficult. Actually, hold up. Hold up. There's a chance it's defined inside the shader, in which case I could possibly change it here. Here I am reading specs. It's not what I was hoping I was going to have to do, but whatever. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Sampler. Filter. Address. I see what's going on. So this should be as simple as me just saying, theoretically. This is actually pretty cool if this works. Let's try it. Hey, it worked. Something was not a pain in the ass for once. Okay. That's really good. So now all I should have to be able to do is move this with respect to the timeline, which is going to very likely be a huge pain in the ass. Oh, hold up. Render time. Let's go. Hold on. That's exactly what we want. Okay. So render time. So I'm assuming there's a buffer. That's what is given to me as brightness. The argument, at least. So buffer BFI brightness. Let's see what BFI is. BFI. Set fragment bytes. Okay, so passing these bytes is basically the entire buffer. So theoretically, I should be able to create a struct, call that my buffer, pass in all the arguments. I've never done this in Swift before, so this is going to be very interesting. Holy shit. What could possibly go wrong? I just want to keep this in here so that at least I know I'm getting the brightness right. Time. What's this thing being annoying? Let cannot appear. Have I forgotten how to write Swift? Let cannot appear nested inside of our let pattern. Oh, that's right. You don't need commas in Swift. I have forgotten Swift. Fuck. This becomes buffer. Size of value buffer. Index. I'm recording over me mumbling here because it didn't make any sense, but basically what I'm doing here is mirroring the buffer layout in the shader code. So I'm editing the shader here and defining the exact same struct inside the shader language so that it exactly lines up with the data that I'm passing in from Swift. This is a very common thing when you're doing GPU programming inside shaders and buffer layouts and stuff like that. This is so I can essentially pass the arguments from the Swift host to the GPU shader. We're just gonna keep this called BFI brightness for now to avoid things getting super fucking complicated. And then this becomes data. Right. It's just like C, right? 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 Okay, fuck off. And then we good? You shut the fuck up. Nope. You need this bullshit. Brightness. You gonna shut the fuck up now? Maybe, yes? Okay. Theoretically, this will just work and not crash at all. Let's see what happens. Let me just do what I do best and just multiply it by a large number and try that. Hey, it fucking works. Holy shit, that's so trippy. Okay. We're closer. We are a lot closer. At this point, it's fun to have it like this, and it is super trippy, but it makes the most sense to actually use a function of a actual TV-like signal for like a VHS messing up. I came up with this little function, which I'm going to replace our sine function with this. I just need to make it very, very stretched out on the y-axis. So the way I do that is I make this period incredibly long, like multiple times the height of the screen. So like something like this. Hey, that is exactly what I was looking for. I'm not too worried about that gray band right now. I mean, I sort of am, but oh man, That is fucking awesome. Through sheer tomfoolery and fuckery and me not wanting to fuck with this anymore, I have a really nice VHS warble effect. I simply detect if the X has gone some crazy ass variable, not a number situation, and if I do, I just reset it to what it was before, and I end up getting this really awesome side effect seam that you see. It's almost like I tried to do this on purpose. So I'm really stoked on this effect. All I need to do now is get these parameters for like, amplitude and stuff into the actual, what do you want to call it? Panel here, the inspector panel, which is going to be a little bit tricky, but it's going to be a lot easier than all of the stupid sinusoidal math that I was doing to try to get this to work. So in other words, I want, this thing is so annoying. When I click warble, yeah, I want this brightness thing to have other variables in here, so I can key these with like keyframes inside either this Program Motion or Final Cut Pro. And I can apply it to my guitar video, which would be really cool. So let's learn how to do that. They have something in here called brightness. So I am going to simply copy that. Now we have brightness, speed, period, amplitude, and so we have our brightness, we have speed, we have period, amplitude. So we have 4 of these, so let's just get these first. This, I want it to be a nice pretty struct. This has now been hoisted all the way up here. Brightness. Time will go at the very end of this. So we do brightness, speed, period, amplitude, render time. Which I'm sure is going to fucking want me to do this again. Like so. And then, bytes. Plugin state. Swift has gotten a lot better with working with pointers than it used to be. Holy shit. Swift is weird. Okay. That's done. So now to get everything back out of here, it's going to be a little weird, but basically we just grab the whole struct back. So index, don't worry about the BFI. Like that. Oh. Okay. We good? Feels like we're good. Feels like the whole damn thing is done. Let's see. I finally have this working with parameters inside Motion, which is really sick. So I can open this up and I can play with it like before. But now I can go into the inspector and change things like the speed of the warble or the period to make it happen only so often, or like all the time. 0 is bad, but yeah, all the time. So yeah, this is really, really cool. So what I can do now is go into my original VHS thing. I got audio scrubbing off. And I can add this as an effect. So I can go into here. I can type my warble effect, drag it in. Oh man, that is so cool. Hold on, do I have scrubbing on? I should. That is so effing cool. Wow, I'm actually kind of mad that I already uploaded this. So here I'm going to splice in a clip without audio of the actual video being exported. I'm just really stoked on how cool this looks. And and I programmed it. Like I actually programmed it myself, which is really badass. I had the audio removed because I really don't want to get a copyright strike on my main YouTube channel, but I will link to the original guitar video that this is for at the end if you guys really care, if you want to watch that. But I'll put a little clip here just showing the actual rendered MP4 from this effect. I'm really proud of it. I actually kind of had to bust my ass to get this working today, as you guys more or less saw, minus my edits. So this is really cool because this is using the GPU to actually implement this, running my own shader code. So I consider this a success. Took more time than I thought it would, but this is really, really badass. So anyway, I know I don't really upload much anymore, but I at least wanted to do this and kind of walk you guys through a process of me learning to do something that I've literally never done before. So thanks for coming along on the journey, and as time goes by, I hope to update you guys on other stuff that I've been working on. Yeah, thanks. Take care.